Right, this is where the cutting mat would have made it really simple, because what I would have done is line it up on the cutting mat. Now what I've got here is a square, and I've taken it 6 inch by 6 inch.
Okay.
Now you're going to make sort of like a noughts and crosses type 9 squares 3 by 3. So the reason you can do it in different sizes, and the reason you can get your decreasing sizes, as long as you stick to that ratio.
Right, okay.
So say for example you wanted the biggest one to be 9 centimetres each square. So you'd do 9 threes are 27, and you'd do 27 by 27.
Right, so that's like the fundamental rule, and you can work around it, you can inflate it as much as you want.
Yeah. Obviously the bigger your card, the stronger it needs to be to actually support a bigger structure. So basically each square would then be 9 centimetres by 9.
Okay.
Then you do the next one smaller, 8 centimetres by 8 centimetres, and work down that way.
Right, okay, brilliant.
So that's your basic rule. So there isn't loads of measuring and everything else.
It's a bit like a maths lesson, isn't it, today?
Two blondes doing maths. Wonders we'll never cease. Right, so what I would have done is I would have lined it up on my mat and then scored my lines.
Okay.
Now I've actually scored these already very slightly.
Right, very faintly.
Very faintly, yeah.
And could you, if you haven't got the tools, use a scissors just to score?
I wouldn't use scissors, I'd use something like a ballpoint pen that's run out of ink.
Right, yep.
And because all you're doing is
And I
putting
seem
on...
to have loads of them in my house.
Yes.
So it'd be nice to actually find when I need one, because usually you grab a pen and it doesn't work. So
That's
there's
it.
a use now for your useless ballpoint pens.
Score your lines, and it also, with scoring it, it means that you're not actually using pencil or anything on it, so it makes it a lot easier.
Okay.
So we score our lines like that.
Because pencil shows very sharply on black, doesn't it? Because it's a silver.
And do you want to score along that? Just
oh
score
goodness,
over
the trusting
those.
moves is very important now.
Well, the lines are there. If you just want to score over it so it's just a bit heavier, that'll be fine. If you use the point of there.
I can see the lines, but now I'm out of the line.
You're out of the line. Do you want me to do it because I'm on the other side?
Hang on, here we are, there we are. I hope I've done that right for you, Candy.
I'm sure that's fine. There we go. And again, what I would do is crease them down, so again we get a really nice edge.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I'd be quite apprehensive about overfolding, thinking that the paper's going to start looking very, very tatty. Is that a concern?
No, a lot of the cardstock you can get now has white core or coloured core, and distressing is quite a big thing. Right. So therefore what you would do is when you get sort of the raw edges, you would maybe sand a bit to show the other colour coming through.
Oh wow, is that sort of aging? That's sort of quite a good DIY technique, isn't it, when they sort of age the wood to make it look antique?
Yeah. So. Now, if we were going to do one of these style boxes, what we would do now is we would cut out these outside corners.
Right, okay.
And then what we would be left with is the cross,
yeah,
and that obviously makes the square.
Yes, yeah.
If we wanted to make like the box in the middle here,
my favourite one,
where we've got a solid part in the middle, we would just cut down one. I'll show you. And here, if we cut down on one, and then what you do is you tuck it in. Right. So that's how you would get.
Right. Okay.
And what I've done with
so easy to make a little box like that.
I know,
and
you don't realise how, because you look at them in the shops and you think, oh, they're really hard to do.
Yeah, they look like one of those Rubik's cubes. They look so puzzling.
So if I cut along here, as this one's your favourite, if I cut along here on each one of these, and you think, oh my goodness, what have I done? And if you actually tuck them in like that.
Brilliant. And what sort of glue would we use then? Can we just use the normal Pritt stick, or do we have to use something slightly stronger?
I would use something stronger.
Right, okay.
Like a wet glue or a silicone glue.
Okay.
Something that will hold it.
What about double-sided tape? That's pretty strong, isn't it?
It is. Different makes have different strengths, to be honest.
Okay.
I mean, for quickness today, I'm just going to use some double-sided.
Ah, see, I was right. I predicted well.
So we won't
just because
do
it's
all
not
the
messy,
corners.
is it? I know when I was this old, my mum didn't like me using glue because it'd get on the tables, or what we used to do is put it on our hands and
then we peel it off like
and
skin,
look like Halloween. Yeah.
Everyone's done that.
I know. So if you don't want your children doing that, then double-sided tape's the way forward. Although you do get those little bits that you peel off all over
and they
our
get
carpets
everywhere
at Christmas. Yeah.
particularly on the foam pads when you're doing decoupage.
Yeah.
My poor little pussycat ends up covered in these little white bits of that she's been glittered and all sorts. So that will hold that for now. You know, we've just put some double-sided on there.
And the good thing with double-sided, you don't have to hold it for the glue to set, do you?
No.
Just it's instant.
No. What I would do, if you use a wet glue, I'd put a peg on it just to hold it.
A paper clip or something, maybe. Yeah.
Resist the temptation to mess with it, though.
Right, okay.
You know.
Okay.
Because that is very tempting, I know.
Especially if you're a perfectionist, you keep moving it. It's just not gonna set, is it?
Right, now the lid. The lid is what catches most people out.
Okay.
Because we think, well, okay, this is 2 inches by 2 inches, therefore my lid must be 2 inches by 2 inches. And what happens is this. You see, I confess. Beautiful 2 inch by 2 inch, lovely box. Put it all together, and what's going to happen? It won't fit.
Oh. So it needs to be larger.
It needs to
right?
be, yeah. The only way you'd get that is to really
to
squish
crumple
it.
your box.
But I brought that in to show you that even I do it, and however many boxes I've made, and I still, if I'm not concentrating, I still do that.
Right.
What I've done for this one is, based on the fact that that's 2 inches by 2 inches, I've taken this as 4 inches square.
Okay.
And what I want to do is to have this slightly bigger than 2 inches.
Right, okay.
So I've scored the lines along there. You can just see them slightly. And I've scored the lines. And what that will do is, there we've got our box.
Right.
Okay. So if we flatten these down.
Could you use them, just thinking now, sort of materials you've got around the house, rather than people having to go out and buy them individually? With old Christmas cards, old birthday cards, if they're large enough, that's actually, they're really, you know, quite solid, aren't they? They're really quite strong. Yeah. So if you do have all your old cards, and it's horrible throwing away pretty birthday cards, I hate it, then also, you can use it in this way.
I mean, something like that, you know, it's tiny.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and I think that's probably 4 inch square.
So just a standard card would serve you fine.
Certainly. You know, and it's just a tiny little bit that's put together.
And even if the pattern isn't, you know, because you have some quirky things on birthday cards, it will still work, I think, because that abstract look is very, you know, in vogue at the moment. So
I cut slightly to the right of my line. That's the way I do it, and that ensures that it tucks in nicely, and you shouldn't have bits sticking out. So we'll take this to there. And we'll start tucking it in, and again, even more so, I'd use a wet glue for the lids, because as they're not as big, they really need to be supported properly. But in fact, brought some wet glue today, full of all these little ingenious things that you like.
Oh, that is so clever.
I knew you'd like that.
I think I just want to spend a rainy afternoon in a paper shop, because there's just so many clever little things
We'll go
out there.
shopping. I will introduce you to craft shopping.
Well, it's like when you're at school. I used to love it sort of the couple of days before in September, when you had to go and get all your new stationery.
I know.
You used to get every coloured pen, pencil, nice pencil case, all excited, brand new books, and then within a week it's all been lost. And my mum would say, "Amy, we've just bought you, you know, every colour of the rainbow." And I lent them to my friends, and now I only have a black pen or something.
Yes.
So
my
it is
daughter's
fun.
always doing that.
It is fun to
stuff
go out and buy all the little stationery, isn't it?
And felt tip pens.
Yeah.
Used to love felt tip pens. Sit colouring in a rainy afternoon.
And it's so cheap. Well, it's free, basically, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
So it's a great thing in the recession at the moment, a good way to save some money.
Well, that's why some of the crafting I've started to do for you first is so inexpensive. You've not got to go out and buy lots of things. And just to prove that it works, is this the right size box? No, that's a smaller one.
There we are.
Put it on that
and
one.
that glue dried incredibly quick, didn't it?
Well, it's not. To
it's
be
still
honest,
not
I wouldn't really fiddle with it if I was at home still, but there you go.
But it kept it.
There's your lid.
Beautiful. And then
it even stays on.
That's so good. And I look at these little boxes and I'm thinking of jewellery. I think it's a lovely way to propose if they had, they'd made the box.
And you can
so men should be
it.
getting involved with this.
Yeah, decorate it however you like.
Definitely.
What I've done here is got a fancy edge. If you can just see there, I've got a fancy edge on on the paper. Again, you know, use fancy scissors or fancy paper trimmers.
Just be creative. Just try what you feel, really, isn't it?
I mean, it'd be lovely if, you know, people have a go at these at home and send the pictures in that they've done. That'd be really nice. And I can see what you've been doing at home.
Yeah, that would actually be brilliant. And obviously the email address is going across the bottom of the screen, as it often does throughout the show. So if you do have any images you want to send through to us, that'd be great, Candy.
That'd
you can
be
rate
lovely.
them and perhaps give some hints and tips.
Yes, definitely.
And
If people have any questions for me, just email me. That'd be lovely.
Brilliant. So you can put the sweets in there, which we'll be nibbling on over the break.
I think so.
Beautiful. Thank you very much for that, Candy.
Thank you.